It's time for Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here is your host, the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Welcome in on this Wednesday. Seasons change, right? 'Tis a season for everything. So we're sad, we're glad. We get it all in the same hour. We say goodbye today at 10:45. We make our final golf picks, but we say hello, because in that time slot, but at 10:25 today, 10:45, from here on out, we say hello to Ron Higgins, our SEC historian. Wednesdays are going to become very SEC-centric, you could say, on this show through football season, because Brett Norsworthy from the good folks at Sports Time, you also know him as Stats, he will be with us every Wednesday at 10:25. So that's sort of our new thing. John Thompson's going to be joining us on Monday. Already we have Glenn Rogers on Friday. Football is here. You just heard that little spot, Dinstals, and I'll say it again later, but, say goodbye to strawberries. They're going away. Caramel apples are coming in now. Changing of seasons. That's what we get. So as we make our final pick, we'll be making our SEC and Memphis picks next week, throughout the week. But as we do this, I'm going to pick first because I'm last in the picking, believe it or not. J-Mo with an unreal last week. So let me ask you this, J-Mo, as the guy who is the keeper of our books, and we trust you.
Even though after week one I miscalculated Johnny's score, and
badly.
He very politely said, "I think you got my score wrong," and he was right about that.
I think this could be the very first time in the history of the pick contest that you are actually not last.
I don't know if that's true.
I think that is
But
true.
it's close. I know. Certainly the first time this year, if nothing else.
And I have gone from last to first to last, and I had a sizable lead in the beginning. However, we love rags to riches stories. I get the first pick, right? This week it's weighted.
It is.
Scotty Scheffler's minus 10 to begin with. So obviously I'm going to take him. Victor Hovland minus 8, Rory minus 7, Rahm minus 6, Glover minus 5, a bunch at 4, a bunch at 3, a bunch at 2, a bunch at 1, and like 3 people at even. Okay? So obviously I'm going to take Scheffler. I just want you to guess, if you have any idea, how much money do you think Scotty Scheffler has already made this year?
Well, it has to be something close to my money because I feel like I pick him every week, but I'm really not sure what it is. How much he made?
Your money is $20,635,000. Scotty Scheffler's money, believe it or not, $21,014,342. So you win $3.6 million if you win this thing. And then you get an $18 million bonus, which we're not going to calculate. That wouldn't be fair, okay? If he wins, and he's by far the favorite, he starts 2 strokes ahead of Hovland. He's 10 strokes ahead of some people in the field. If he wins, he will have made with the bonus just prize money. This has nothing to do with sponsor money or anything else, which is usually double, okay? He will have made $42 million this year in earnings from playing. That he can thank Live for. And I'm not sure it'll ever get better than this because, right, they're going from, now they're called signature events. We called them designated events, I think, going into this year. There were 17 of them. There's not going to be 17 anymore. That's down to like 11 or 12, right?
That's right. And then I think and that's replaced,
including,
the 4 or 5 is replaced with the live events. Is that right, or that's not true? They definitely turned it down, but I thought that was to make space for some other kind of marquee event.
Maybe.
That everyone can play in.
Nobody knows the framework totally yet, and this is interesting. So if you'll recall, last year on the Tuesday before the final event in Atlanta, the commissioner held his end of the season address, And in that address, he introduced the new schedule with 17 designated events. Remember that? So this year, basically said, hey, trust me, guys, we're really close. We've got this framework. It's more than framework now. I am confident is going to be incredibly successful, but I can't tell you anything about it. Okay? So we have no idea. None. We'll find out. We'll find out. I got a quick question for you as long as we're talking golf, and I may ask our friends Johnny Lyon and Mickey Barker about the Ryder Cup. So I'm thinking about the Ryder Cup, and I'm starting to think maybe the European team is better. All right? So we know Scheffler, Clark, Homa, Xander, Harmon, Cantlay. Those are the 6 automatic. Are they better than Rory, Hovland, Fitzpatrick, Fleetwood? I'm missing some. Hatton? Who else would be in there that I'm missing? Oh, Rahm.
John Rahm, of course.
Rahm. Man, that's 6 guys right there. That's their 6. Who's the better team? It's in Rome. It's in Europe.
It's hard to say, too. Obviously, there's some picks that still have to be made, and that could change things drastically, too. But in terms of name recognition, I guess you could go down to who's playing better as of late. But in terms of name recognition, it's really hard to beat the names you just named for the European team.
Personally, I think, look, let's just say match play, right? It's match play. Well, we know Victor Hovland's pretty good at match play. He won the dang U.S. Amateur at Pebble Beach, so he's pretty good at it. We know Rahm's pretty good at it. I'm just telling you, on paper, I'm not sure Europe isn't a better team. I would see if you can. They probably haven't posted odds yet because we don't have, except for the qualifiers, we don't have those teams. But is there any kind of early line on the Ryder Cup? Because it's not that far away.
Wow, yes. Europe is plus 162, according to VegasInsider.com, to hoist the Ryder Cup. USA favorites at minus 225. Those are American odds, obviously. Whenever you get into international play, American odds are always super inflated.
I'm going to take them. Give me the odds. Although I can't do that because I am and red, white, and blue, baby.
That's exactly why, right there, the USA is always inflated.
Man, that's crazy. Anyway, just some food for thought. We'll talk a little bit about this with Ron Higgins coming up. But, USA Today and their network, of which the Commercial Appeal is one of those cities, they have SEC beat writers. So they polled, I don't know, I'm going to say it's like 8 of them. They polled 8 SEC writers on who was going to win the SEC. One had LSU, one had Alabama, everybody else had Georgia, okay? It also said pick your final 4. And everybody, I think, had USC. Everybody had either Michigan or Ohio State, and everybody had Alabama or Georgia, or both. In fact, every single one of them had 2 SEC teams, only one had Michigan and Ohio State in. I'm thinking, we're going over all these things. I'm looking here. The way the SEC is, and it's going to be even worse next year when Texas and Oklahoma come in, that I'm thinking there's going to be a couple losses now, and teams make the playoffs, right?
You got to.
I can't. Believe me, if Michigan and Ohio State have only one loss, one of them, from playing each other, I would think there's really good odds that 2 from the Big Ten get in. See, this is the SEC. We have this bias that it's the greatest thing ever. It just means more. And I'm not 100% certain that the SEC is a given to get 2 and that the Big Ten is a given to get 1.
Well, how about this, too? I was thinking about this the other day as we talked to college football guests all week long. It's really ramping up this week. And one thing that we talk about with the ACC is Clemson and Florida State are very competitive teams that it seems like everybody is either picking Florida State to go to the playoff or Clemson to go to the playoffs. There's only 2. Well, theoretically, if you think both of those teams are good enough to go to the playoff and compete against the other teams in the playoff, is the ACC candidate to get 2 teams in? Or their strength of schedule doesn't compete with the Big Ten and the SEC, so it's much harder for that league to get 2 in. But there's another candidate right there.
Well, what about the Big 12? What about Texas this year?
If they beat Alabama, if Texas goes on a run, very well could.
That's exactly right. They get Alabama, and I'm just can't wait for this. That is the second week of the year, September the 9th. They play Alabama at Texas plays at Alabama, so Alabama's got home field advantage.
And it was a close game last year at Texas, so, seemingly you could get the same thing again.
Alabama had a miracle win.
Miracle win.
In that game. Yeah, Alabama's got to go to College Station to play A&M. They got to play Tennessee. They got to play LSU. Both those games are home games. And then they ended Auburn. Hey, anybody thinks Alabama's just going to run the table? Especially with a new quarterback that we don't know about?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of doubt cast on the quarterback situation at Alabama right now, whereas last year you saw Bryce Young single-handedly win a lot of games for them without the help of other marquee positions, so it could be the opposite case this year at Alabama.
And LSU might have, if they get past Florida State, that opens up the door for them. I can understand why somebody might pick them to get there, because you look at it, and we'll talk with Ron Higgins about this. After Florida State, they got Grambling. They go to Mississippi State. We'll see what that is all about with a new head coach who's never been a head coach. He's a defensive coordinator. And they're transitioning from the air raid. Then they got Arkansas at Missouri, Auburn at home, Army at home. That's the first time I think they've ever played Army. Then at Alabama. I mean, the winner of that game might be the one in the driver's seat. Florida at home, Georgia State, and Texas A&M at home. I mean, that's obviously a tough schedule, but not as hard as others.
Yeah, I don't really have a good gauge on it, too. There's also a scenario, well, maybe not a legitimate scenario, but, you could make an argument there would be a possibility for 3 SEC teams to get in. Let's say Alabama wins the games that they should, and the only game that Tennessee and Georgia can't figure out is the game against each other where they split. Well, if that's the only game one of them loses and they don't go to the SEC championship, very well they could make a chance to go to the playoff there. So many different scenarios could happen as the season plays out. It'll be exciting to see how it goes.
Oh, yeah, it's just going to be beyond fun. I mean,
I'm excited for football already.
Let's get here.
I've had NFL Network on 24 hours a day, just watching any football I could. I don't care who's on the field, just seeing football being played.
They got games now on all the time.
That's right.
That is for sure. All right. Let me tell you, I'm sitting in the Family Leisure studio. And a reminder, what is today, the 23rd?
That's right.
Got at least a week where the clearance sale continues. I don't know, but I'm guessing in September there'll be a fall deal that'll be different. This is the clearance sale. They're asking your help get things out of there so they can bring the new fall stuff in where you can get do-it-yourself pools $1,000 off. There's select play gyms $1,899, under $1,900. That's pretty heady stuff there. Patio furniture, 30% off, 24 months, same as cash financing. Just get to I-40 and Wooden Road. Go see Billy, go see Lindsay, go see all the crew. They'll take care of you. You'll love what you see inside there, and they're trying to get all of that moved. That's Family Leisure and the summer clearance sale. Our title sponsors Homer Skelton Hyundai. That's in Olive Branch. Pre-owned cars, plenty on the lot. It's good to say that. Remember, we're like over COVID. We're over the shortage of those computer chips. We've got stock. We've got Hyundais. We got Genesis, and you can get a Genesis G70, the little sedan, the rocket ship of a car. When I demoed that car, they said, we're not responsible for speeding tickets. And then I immediately jettisoned onto Highway 78, and I could see what they were talking about. If there had been any kind of like small wings, I'd have taken off. The thing is so fast, and you can get a $1,000 rebate if you just agree to finance with Genesis. It's that simple. They make the buying experience easy, and let me tell you, it's so good. Customer retention, outstanding. All you got to do is take that little trip down on 78. It's Lamar. First exit Mississippi East Craft Road. Turn left. Go see Chris True. Go see the gang that's been together over 20 years at Homer Skelton Hyundai. Today marks the return of 901 FC. Do you know, J-Mo, how long the boys in Beale Street Blue, how long they've been away?
I'm going to say 6 weeks.
Well, close. A month. I believe the last time they played here was July 22nd, and it's August 23rd. A month. In that time period, they've gone 2-1-1. However, they won their last two. They are taking on an Indy team that has won 3 games in a row. So we got 2 hot teams in the Eastern Division of the USL Championship, and they're fighting each other. And it's going to be a lot of fun. $2 beers to entice you. And if you don't go, watch it on Bounce. That's WMC TV 5.2 or on ESPN Plus. I will be doing the game. I hope you will tune in. If you do not go, I'd rather see you go to AutoZone Park and watch.
And that's to correspond, that time off, that's corresponding with the U.S. Open Cup. Is that right?
You know, I don't know why they only played 4 games in the month. That seems pretty sparse to me.
Yeah, maybe it's not. I'm not sure exactly how the schedule generally goes.
They're playing 11 games now. They got 11 or 12 games left in the regular season, and they play those more than one a week.
I bet it is. Because
Yeah.
I saw Messi and Inter Miami playing in that cup, and
It could be that
the USL's involved in it, and there's 2 other American leagues involved in it.
Yeah, remember they beat Atlanta, the MLS team, to begin one of their first games in the Cup. They won like 2, and then they lost. But the Cup is it's an in-season thing, so they do accommodate that. Maybe that is why the schedule was so light. Do you play NBA 2K24?
I do. I love it. Love 2K. That's my game right there.
So the Grizzlies have 4 top 100 players. Did you know that?
I knew 3. The 4th one's Steven Adams, I'm assuming?
Nope.
Wow. Who's the 4th? Oh, Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart just got in at 96. So you got Ja, Jaren, Bane, and Marcus Smart. This surprised me. They have Steven Adams. It has a good rating, but it's outside the top 100. But believe it or not, and this is what kind of disturbs me about the accuracy of 2K24. They don't take into account screening, defense, rebounds, toughness.
In terms of the rating.
The little things. Because do you know who is ahead of Steven Adams?
I can't even imagine.
Jonas Valanciunas. Now, who would you rather have?
Yeah, that has all to do with touch and the way he scores, which does dominate those ratings.
It's scoring. It comes down to scoring. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has actually stepped up 1 spot over Ja. Is that fair?
Yeah. I mean, that guy he just has so many intangibles that Ja doesn't have, even though Ja probably has a little bit more, raw athletic talent.
Spectacular play.
I mean, Shai, boy, I tell you, that guy's something else.
Here's the other guy. If we're thinking about a young guy that is emerging as one of the faces of the league, it kills me to say this because he might be the guy that I was most wrong about than any ever in my history of watching the NBA and predicting a player's upside. And that is Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards, what he's doing with the American team now, he's their offensive guy, right? And he'll make the Olympic team next year for sure. Is he going to become the new face of the NBA over Ja because of Ja's off-court decision-making?
Yeah, you could pin it back on his off-court decision-making for sure, too. I really think this FIBA World Cup is maybe more watched than usual. It's almost like watching an Olympics. I mean, it seems like everyone, maybe it's just because Jaron's playing in it, we locally are very excited about it, but it seems like people are excited about it. And like you just said, Anthony Edwards in these games they played so far is putting on an absolute show. That's the kind of thing that can propel you to superstardom when you get back to NBA play this season. So I agree with you. I think he's really taken the next step in becoming a perennial superstar.
I do too. I think when you become the star of the American team, now he's not going to be when they play in the Olympic Games because all the big guys are going to come and play. Heck, it could be the end of LeBron. He might be the sentimental guy that they come and bring. But if you're the star of the team that gets you the World Cup championship and places you in the best position for the Olympics, I can't imagine that he would not be on that team. And I don't believe Ja will be.
Yeah, that we just mentioned Shea, that guard position. Well, Shea can play for Canada, though. So it's hard. I guess guys can decide who they want to play for, but that guard position is going to be super competitive. Ja's got his work cut out for him, for sure.
No doubt about it. This portion of the show brought to you by Grind City. Grind City Brewing. That's right downtown, just north of it a little bit, and right on the river. I mean, you look to your left, you'll see the Enbridge, a really nice little like pasture that's all green and beautiful with tents, not tents, those umbrellas with picnic tables, and then there's the brewery that is just gorgeous. And it's fun to go inside there and to buy some product like Poppy's Pills, the Pilsner that is just what the doctor ordered. Their number one selling beer. And by the way, you can get it at other places besides the brewery all over town. Places that sell local beer, you're going to get Grind City Brewing. You're going to get the Godhopper, too. That's the India Pale Ale. The new things, the Thaddeus Amber Lager. How about the Grind City Belga? That's the Belgian-style wheat ale, Blue Moonish kind of thing. Really, really good. There's the Tiger Tail, the craft malt liquor that is different than the malt liquor that your father or your grandfather might have drunk. It's just great stuff. This is all Memphis. It's a taste of Memphis right downtown. It's Grind City Brewing. When we come back to Baton Rouge, we go. Our first visit this year with our SEC historian, Ron Higgins. He comes your way in a minute.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If you're looking to stock up for your next summer barbecue, look no further than Memphis Barbecue Supply. Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we boast the largest selection of fuel and wood in the Mid-South. We have everything from chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood. Additionally, we carry pellets in 14 different varieties, as well as 6 different briquette charcoal and 4 different lump charcoal. And our knowledgeable staff is always available to help with any questions you may have for your next cook. We can help you choose from our over 308 different rubs and sauces that we keep in stock. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news. So, the next time you're planning on cooking, keep us in mind. Memphis Barbecue Supply.
Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long because right now when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. Just pick any team to win the Super Bowl, and you'll get bonus bets for every victory. You can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. How about Cincinnati? They nearly pulled the trick 2 years ago. I'm riding them. Great quarterback, solid offensive line, talent on defense, and consistency with a coaching staff. Plus, they've got experience in the big games recently. They've been close. I think they finally knocked down the door. So visit FanDuel.com/win and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/win.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Memphis football is back Saturday, September 2nd versus Bethune-Cookman at 6 o'clock. We need Memphis at our 901 game home opener as we celebrate our city and welcome the excitement of college football back to the 901. See the new Tiger Tailgate, a new team run out, the Bill Street Flippers, and more. Tickets start at just $20 to witness the 901's football team in action. Be there Saturday, September 2nd. Purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGoTix.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Lonely feeling deep inside. Find a corner where I can hide.
Well, guess who, huh? It's new. I don't remember this one being a part of it. Or am I wrong?
Maybe I don't play it very often, but it's
No.
been here.
No sugar tonight, but we got Ron Higgins. He comes your way in a minute. He's brought to you by Conway. Save up to $300 on a new energy-efficient tank or tankless water heater from Conway. You can upgrade your old inefficient water heater with a new energy-efficient model, or better yet, I talk about this all the time because I've got one. Get a tankless, so you're only heating the water you need and you never run out. Visit ConwayServices.com for details, terms, and conditions, or call my guys, 384-3511. That is Conway. Down to Baton Rouge we go. How are you doing, Mr. Higgins? How many years, if you go back to your childhood and your dad being the sports information director at LSU, how many years have you been totally engrossed and a part of an SEC football season? Got to be a lot.
I'd say 62 years, 61 years, yeah. 5 years old. That was the first time I went and saw a game.
Wow.
First LSU game I ever saw was a 5-0 game. 5-0.
LSU and who?
TCU, 5-0.
LSU,
Yep.
TCU 5-0. Wow. Who won?
Well,
LSU won?
Yeah, the only 5-0 game I've ever seen before or since. Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that the beauty of it? 60 years, and every year you're going to see something you've never seen before.
Absolutely. That's why you enjoy football season. I mean, as a professional journalist, this is number 44. So, yeah. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, starts tomorrow. The SEC cranks up fully next week. Let's go. I mean, every year it's a new era now.
You think it's a new era now? It's really going to be a new era next year when
next year
Texas and Oklahoma are in the SEC. No more divisions, and who knows what other dominoes may still fall because the Big Ten's at 18. Do you think the SEC is going to stop at 16 for a while?
Yeah, I don't think that they feel like that they have to, unless there's somebody that they really think that fits they want. That would.
What about Clemson Clemson and Florida State? Maybe Notre Dame goes to the Big Ten with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it would be in a state that's already connected to the SEC. Put it that way. The SEC is unique in that way that every member is in a state connected to each other. So they like that. They really that's part of their DNA. That's what they like. So if they went that direction, yeah, it would definitely be a state connected already to the SEC. Yeah.
Yeah, you have Florida and you have South Carolina, and obviously they have, of course, Memphis. Cause, they're connected too. They have Tennessee and Vandy in this state.
Yeah, I mean,
we know that's not happening.
I mean, I feel bad for Memphis because they should be in some of these damn leagues, and they should be in the Big 12. Okay, all right, they should be in the league.
They should, and no doubt.
Yeah, it's just. It really, I mean, I'm probably gone from Memphis 10 years now. It just bothers the hell out of me when I say that they bring these rinky-dink programs in that league, and like this Memphis sitting there, and it's a good city, and they got good football, they got good basketball, baseball hasn't been bad. I mean, the only thing I can think is holding back is facilities. That's something I can think that. But look, the Big 12 is not exactly the mecca of great facilities. Okay, let's don't go there. All right.
I seriously, I don't think it's that. I think it's money. I think Memphis is perceived as a poor, and it is, financial market. The money is not as great, and nor is the market size as great as every other market that they took in.
So Kansas State, that's like a mecca of wealth.
Well, that's been there forever. I mean, they got
Well, yeah.
grandfathered in. Let me tell you something. If they were reshuffling decks, I'm not sure you would keep Vandy because Nashville's a big town. But would you keep Kansas State? I wonder.
Yeah, I agree.
Would you keep Arkansas in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Would you keep Starkville in Mississippi State in Starkville? I mean,
but I just think I go by what do they contribute to the league, and those two schools contribute to the league in different sports. To me, when I look at a conference, I look at the entire sports thing. Okay? I look at the entire, not just football or basketball. That's why I'm so excited about Texas, Oklahoma coming in. Man, they add in all sports.
But don't you think that your view that you're talking about is really a rare view? This is all football driven. Yeah.
All the people come out. They got a great football program, but everything their football program is not very good. But we get them in our league for. I look at everything. I'm so excited. Oklahoma softball team, man, they can't be beat.
I know.
They're coming to SEC. Texas has been good in baseball and softball and track for years, and their basketball's gotten a lot better again. Football's trying to get better again. So I look at these programs as total. That was the attraction of the SEC also.
Well, let me just say this on your overall view, which I love, and I wish it was looked that way, but Stanford every year wins the overall competition. It's one of the great academic schools of all time. It's one of the most picturesque places you could possibly be. And Stanford is the one school that wins that Sears Cup that's in the outs looking in.
Yeah, they can't get in the league. Nobody wants them. I mean, I agree. I know my view is different. I get that. And I was discussing Stanford. Somebody got a little while ago talking about how great they are and everything, and they can't get in the league. Yeah, unreal.
Yeah. So the USA Today network with papers everywhere, including Memphis. I'm sure they got one in Baton Rouge.
No, we don't have one here. Thank God.
No, they don't, huh? Okay. They took a poll of about 8 different SEC beat writers. I think it was 8. And 7 of them have 2 SEC teams in the Final Four in the playoffs. Only one had the Big Ten with 2. Most have USC in. Some have Clemson in. One had Florida State in. Nobody had a Big 12 team, I think, representing at this point. Is it crazy? I mean, is it a given SEC, the SEC with their schedules the way they are going to get 2 in?
I don't think so. I mean, I think everybody has questions. I mean, I know Georgia has 13 returning stars, but they got to replace their quarterback, and who was pretty good. Alabama doesn't know who their quarterback is. They have no idea. LSU is a lot better than they were last year, but as Brian Kelly would say, we're not there yet. And they have 14 returning stars. They're not there yet. They have Florida State to open the season in Orlando on Sunday, September 3rd, and then they got Alabama on the road. They have a favorable home schedule, but no. I mean, I think you'll get one SEC, probably one Big Ten. I think USC will sneak in there this year, and then we'll see who the other one is. But yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying the SEC will get 2 in because everybody just assumes that Georgia, Alabama, they're in. Not really. I mean, Georgia more so than Alabama. I mean, Georgia is loaded, yeah. Alabama, they got a ton of good players too, but their quarterback's up in the air, so. There's a lot of questions still left. That's why it'll play out during the season.
Well, we'll know your team right off the bat. They got Mike Norvell in Florida State. First game, that one is in Baton Rouge.
No, it's in Orlando.
Oh, it's in Orlando? Oh.
Yeah, it was in New Orleans last year. Brian Kelly's first game, LSU played awful and still came back and almost won the game. LSU's really pointing toward this game. They really are. They're angry they lost last year to them, but the first game under Kelly, they're trying to figure stuff out, and which they did about 4 or 5 games in the year. They figured stuff out, but they feel much more settled now. They got a ton of players back. They got depth on both sides of the line on the ball. They got depth everywhere on this team, and that's why they feel good about their chances. But again, you got to go play. You got to go play it.
Who do you think wins that game in Orlando?
I think LSU wins. I think LSU. I'm telling you that they're just angry about last year, and again, they played so bad in Brian Kelly's first game because these teams they're all trying to still pull each other out. They're very sure of who they are now and what they can do. Their quarterback is a veteran now. He's had a good year last year, and they got probably maybe the best. Well, he is the best defensive player in the SEC, maybe one of the best in the nation. In their linebacker, Harold Perkins, and they got a guy back on the defensive line who missed off last year with the injury. So yeah, they're really aiming for this first game. I know Florida State's better. I get that, but I think LSU's motivation is they weren't happy about losing that first game last year. And again, they almost came back and won it as bad as they played.
They then will have Grambling, and then at Mississippi State, Arkansas, at Ole Miss, at Missouri, Auburn, Army, then a week off before at Alabama. Do you think LSU can win the West?
Yeah, they can. They can win the West, but yeah, they sure can. I think there's some places that, I think LSU. Honestly, they always had trouble at Ole Miss. It's just a tough place to play, and it's a good rival game. And
yeah, it is.
Kip is a wily coach. I think that's a tough game for him. I think Arkansas, even Baton Rouge, will be a tough out. They lost Arkansas here 2 years ago. They're a tough out. Mississippi State, with all that damn cowbells, can drive you crazy. They can be a tough out. There's Missouri is vastly improved. I mean, it's a hard league. I don't know if there's any week off. I mean, Auburn's going to be, like I always say, any team that's got Hugh Freeze as head coach is going to be a lot better immediately. It's a tough league. I don't know if there's really any easy outs, especially now with NIL, that you can just go buy who you want.
Right. Well, ask your baseball team, right?
Yeah, our baseball team, man, they went bought the best pitcher in America, and one of the best power hitters in America, and put it all together.
All right, so if I'm hard pressed with you here, who wins the East? Everybody says Georgia. They have to replace Stetson Bennett. Who wins the West? Where I can think of Alabama, LSU. I guess those would be the two that you really think about. Some would maybe say A&M. I would not. I don't trust Jimbo. But there's at least three candidates there. How does it come out in your head?
I think Georgia wins it again. I think they've got so much at every position, even without quarterback. Just new quarterback. I think they can overcome a lot. I don't see anybody. I mean, Tennessee could challenge them.
Yeah.
And then they could challenge them.
If their quarterback reads defenses, he's certainly got the tools to be outstanding.
Joe Milton's got a gun for an arm.
Yeah.
He can read defense. They can be pretty good. I'm not trying to be a homer here because you know me. I don't mind. I just think on paper right now, LSU is a better football team than Alabama on paper. But you got to go play it, and you got to go. That game is later in the year when you've had injuries and stuff, and so the dynamics always change by November.
All right, and then it's LSU Georgia championship game. They will have not played each other in the regular season. Who wins? Who goes to the playoffs?
Yeah, that's a good question because Georgia was way ahead of LSU last year as far as talent level. I think Georgia wins the game to be a lot closer than it was this past year. This past year was 50-30 in the championship game. LSU was totally overwhelmed. I don't think they'll be overwhelmed, but I think they'll give Georgia a harder time. I think Georgia goes back to the playoffs. I do.
I can't wait for it to start. Then we'll know about the LSU Tigers right off the bat because they're going to take on Norvell. They're going to take on the Seminoles. That'll be a heck of a game in Orlando.
It's a good opening weekend game. I can tell you that.
No doubt.
They're fired up. They travel anywhere they can drink. So,
I think that is the best of the openers. You got South Carolina, North Carolina. That's a good opener.
But you got number 5 and number 8. in the polls going the first week.
Yeah, that's it. That is clearly numero uno. All right, we're going to be doing this every week. It'll be at 10:45 starting next week with our man in Baton Rouge, SEC historian Ron Higgins. Thank you, Ron. We appreciate it. Have a great week.
All right, well, take care. I'll see you.
Okay. Always a pleasure to bring back our old friends, Ron Higgins. A staple of the show will begin again on a weekly basis next week. He is brought to you in part by Dinstall's, and I got to tell you, changing of the seasons, sometimes that's hard to take. But in this case, okay, we lose chocolate-covered strawberries. Until Valentine's Day, this is the last weekend for you to get chocolate-covered strawberries, and nobody dips them like Dinstall's. That fondant then enrobed in the chocolate. The fondant's the key. Nobody's done it like that, ever. Another one of those incredible tastes of Memphis. Exciting news, they're remodeling Laurelwood. So for the next 2 weeks probably, because they're totally redoing the store. Becky told me I won't recognize it, and of course I've been there a bunch. It's the one in Laurelwood, so you got to get all your Dinstall treats for the next couple of weeks. Germantown, Collierville, downtown, or where they make it on Pleasant View. We'll give you updates on what's going on there, but probably a week or two, no Laurelwood. And I mentioned say goodbye to strawberries, but you know what we've got starting the 7th in the middle of week 2, between week 1 and 2 of college football? We got caramel apples. You know, they do the chocolate-covered caramel apples, too. They do it all. They do everything sweet. They are the best. The best sweet taste in Memphis, Dinstall's, for well over 100 years. We take a quick time out. When we come back, our final golf segment with Mickey and Johnny for the year. They come your way in just a minute.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey folks, Ryan McElroy here with Sunrise Buick GMC. I know the temps are going up, but the prices are dropping here at the Sunrise Super Summer Sale. Huge selection of new and used cars, trucks, and SUVs. Discounts up to $6,500 and a $12 million used car inventory. If you're not 100% happy with your car, don't pay another penny on it. Top dollar for trade-ins, or we'll just buy it from you. Bad credit, slow pay, bankruptcy, it's okay at Sunrise. Call, click, or come on in to any of the 3 Sunrise locations here in town. Covenant Pike, Wolf Chase, or Carnival, come check us out at sunrisememphis.com. We make it fun to buy a car.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
A new era in public safety begins with you. Be the change you want to see. Join us for the Memphis Police Department Hiring Expo, Saturday, August 26, 2023, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 170 North Main Street downtown. We'll be taking applications, performing basic testing, and interviewing candidates on site. Free parking will be located at Poplar Avenue and Front Street. Salary starting at $60,700. Benefits include a $15,000 sign-on bonus, up to $10,000 relocation assistance. For more information or details, visit joinmpd.com.
All 650 acquisition fee, 30,000 miles, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte PE 659,993. MSRP 22,540. Nero P 501,5237. MSRP 41,390. EV6 P 560, 3393. MSRP 50,200. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for details. Offer valid through 9523. Dealer stock only. Warranties are limited. Powertrain warranty. See Kia.com or retailer for details.
I got Jeff Allen on the line. Hey, what's the scoop over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
Randy, we got deals everyone wants. How about 41 MPG Highway, 2023 Kia Forte LXS, $249 a month, $29.99 due at signing.
Hey, Jeff, give me some EV scoop.
2023 Nero EV Win, 253 miles of EPA estimated range, $292 a month. And a 2023 Kia EV6 Win with up to 134 city, 101 highway MPGe. Only $425 a month, both $49.99 due at signing, all 36-month lease.
And Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty to boot.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Now back to Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again is the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin.
Final golf picks of the year. We got a shakeup in what's been going on. For the first time in a long time, Johnny Lyon is not in first place. That would belong to the head of Memphis Golf. That would be Mickey Barker. J-Mo is no longer in last place, maybe for the first time in 2 years, but I am. And I started the year in first place, like by $6 million. But it's all so close. I'm at 18.8 mil. J-Mo at 20.6, Johnny at 20.8, and 21 pretty much on the button, Mickey. Winner this week, probably, especially if you were to get 1-2, you will probably win the Pick'em contest. So let's bring them in. Here's Mickey Barker, head of City Golf. Got to ask you right off the bat, what's going on with Audubon? Every single time I can, I kind of go through Cherry there between the Botanic Gardens and the golf course just to kind of peek. I mean, it looks spectacular.
It really is. It's fantastic. We're just about to get all the grass in the ground. We're, a couple weeks away from the full grow-in stage. Everything has been shaped. The short course is completely grown in. Driving range we're getting the tee ready to go there.
I see you got a net up by protecting the gardens, I guess, or the amphitheater.
We do. We got the netting up. The light poles were going in last week. So it's really exciting over there. The greens have been mowed. Most of them have already been mowed at least once, some of them multiple times. Just very exciting times at Cherry and Southern.
What is a realistic opening date for the new Audubon? And keep in mind, you were several months off on Pine Hill.
Right. This time, we know that it will not be before July 1st of next summer. So we're going to make sure that we have plenty of hot weather to grow it in, early next summer.
Okay, so middle of next summer is a realistic time. Love it. Thank you. Let me bring in Johnny Lyon. I made an audacious statement, Johnny Lyon, because I'm a red, white, and blue Ryder Cup lover. But I'm looking at the Ryder Cup team. The 6 in for the United States that we know are Scheffler, Clark, Homa, Xander, Brian Harman, Patrick Cantlay. Those are the 6 automatic. I know 6 for sure that will be a part of the Ryder Cup team from Europe. John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Victor Hovland, who just had maybe one of the greatest 9-hole back nines in the history of the game, Tommy Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, and Hatton. I'm not sure those 6 aren't better than the 6 Americans. Your thoughts on that premise?
I think the European team is loaded this year, and I think it's going to be a really good Ryder Cup last week in September in Rome.
Yeah, it's in Rome. So, Mickey, it's in Europe. And yet, if you go by the Vegas odds that we looked up earlier, the Americans are the favored team. I'm having a hard time buying that. Believe me, I want them to win. And it'll be interesting what Zach Johnson comes up with his captain picks. But just looking at the 6 versus the 6, who would you pick?
If I had to pick, I would obviously want the Americans to win, but I don't think I would pick them. I'd pick Europe 6-on-6. Now, when we go to the other 6, I think that may be where it turns.
Who would be the 6 you would pick?
Well, obviously Spieth, Koepka, Fowler. Probably, I'm leaving Justin Thomas off.
Okay.
I would probably go with Keegan Bradley.
Okay.
That's
4. You got 2 more.
2 more.
Let me help you out. Would you take Glover?
I would not.
Really?
I think it would be. I think it would. Throwing him in that would be a little bit too big. Well, that's
you got Morikawa. You got Sam Burns.
I would definitely.
You got Burns. Johnny's guy, Denny McCarthy.
Yeah, I would take Burns, and I really would consider taking McCarthy because of the way he puts it. JT's problem is not tee to green; it's on when he gets to the putting green. That to me, that's where I would leave him off because it's going to be a putting contest.
Johnny, who would you go? Who would be your picks beyond the 6 that qualified?
I would have to take Max Homa.
Well, he's already in.
He's already in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think Glover deserves a spot, and I guess some of the guys from the Live Tour.
Well, you'd take Koepka. You'd take Koepka. He's 7th in the points. So I think Zach Johnson has taken. Would you take Bryson DeChambeau?
I don't think he'll be picked. No, I don't. I think Koepka will be the only one on the Live Tour that they pick.
I agree with that. I would take Spieth. I would take Cam Young. I would take Koepka. That's 3. I would take Glover because he's played hot. 4. I'd take Ricky because he's got the experience and he's just all class. And then it would probably come down to be either Keegan Bradley, who may be one of the more slow players in the history of mankind. Could you imagine if you're playing Keegan Bradley and Brian Harman and you're like Hovland? Oh, my God. They're going to hate each other.
If you could put him against Terrell Hatton, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It would just drive him insane.
That would make him go crazy. And I don't know. It's between Keegan Bradley and Denny McCarthy. Those two guys would be my last. And Zach Johnson's going to have to figure it out. But I think he's pretty much got to take Koepka. I don't think there's any question. When you look at those other 6 guys, you better be taking Brooks Koepka.
I
he's
agree.
a fighter.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Before we lose track of time here, we got to make our picks. I go first, so you know I've got to take Scotty Scheffler. He's -10 to begin with. So I'm taking Scotty.
I think I'm going to go by the same train of thought. Even though he won last week, he's 8 under par. He's found something in Memphis. I'm going to say Victor Hovland.
No doubt. All right. It goes to Johnny. Mickey's last.
I have to take Rory.
Of course you do. He's -7.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously, I have to go right down the same line. I have to take John Rahm. He hasn't played well, but I'm not going to let him spot anybody's shot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, Glover is -5. I think I have to go with Patrick Cantlay. I'll go -4. I'll lay Glover to you, J-Mo.
That's where I was going. I'll go Max Homa instead then. So also -4.
Okay. Johnny?
I have to take Jordan Spieth.
Oh.
Wow. He's even. You know that, don't you? Okay. Mickey?
Yeah, well, I like him.
I'm going to jump down to Xander Schauffele. It's his favorite golf course they play all year. He's 3 under, so I'm going to jump down to Xander.
Well, you're giving me Glover then. I'm taking the -5. Okay.
I'm so in between guys here now. I'm going to take Brian Harman. He just is at the top of these tournaments. I'm taking Brian Harman.
He's in everything.
He's in everything.
And he's -4, so I don't blame you. Johnny?
Ricky Fowler.
Okay. And Fowler is in a group that's 3 under. Last pick of the year.
Matt Fitzpatrick. Played good last week.
Yep. All right. Wow. I love it. So it's Scotty Scheffler, Patrick Cantlay, and I got Glover. So I'm -10, -4, -5. If I go 1-2, I'll win this thing. You know that, don't you?
Be a good start.
Yeah. J-Mo, you've got Victor Hovland, the hottest guy around, Max Homa, and Brian Harman, the lefty. Johnny has Rory McIlroy Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler. Mickey, you've got John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, and Matthew Fitzpatrick. You guys watched the Hovland back nine. Ted Butler earlier this week said it might be the greatest single 9 holes ever played. 8 threes and a birdie 4 on the back nine of a hard golf course, Olympia Fields in Chicago. Let me start with Johnny. Do you buy that is one of the great rounds of all time, or at least 9 holes?
I definitely do, and I got to tip my hat to J-Mo picking 1 and 2 last week. Got him back on the lead, and, Victor Hovland surprised the world. Yeah, he is.
Mickey, you've seen a lot of golf from a lot of different angles, competing, watching as a pro, competing against pros in the FESJC 1 or 2 years. Where would you rank that 9 holes of Hovland last 9 in Chicago?
It's really good, but it doesn't compare with the back 9 in '86 at the Masters.
That's incredible. We did that comparison the other. Were you listening?
No, I wasn't. Not at all.
That's what we said. It's hard to beat Jack's 9. Jack shot a 30, so that was
right.
That was 6 under, and this
right,
was 7 under. But that was at Augusta as a major at age 46.
Right.
Yeah. Another thing, a lot of people didn't maybe notice, but Tom Kim shot 29 last week on the back nine.
I know. He shot a 63. That was incredible because the last time they played at that golf course, they hadn't made any changes, but the last time they played at that golf course, there was a tie at the end of regulation between 2 pretty good players, John Rahm and Dustin Johnson. You know what their total score was for the week? -2. And the dude was -7 for 9 holes. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, guys, we might have to chat along the lines of the Ryder Cup. It has been a pleasure picking with you this year. We'll let you know how it all comes out. You'll see. And we'll do it again next year.
Yeah, sounds great, Dave. Thanks for having us.
Mickey, J-Mo, enjoyed it.
Thanks, Johnny.
Take care, guys.
Thank you, Johnny Lyon. Thank you, Mickey Barker. We're out of time. That'll do it for us tomorrow. Oh, it'll be busy. We got Russell Copeland. We've got Jarvis Greer. Who knows what surprises may come up? We might start doing a little picking ourselves. So that'll do it for us, but don't go anywhere. Johnny Radio is next. Have a great day, everybody.